Listen, beautiful soul. What I'm about to share with you today is going to shift everything you thought you knew about love, relationships, and the heart of the person who's been quietly loving you from the shadows. You know that feeling, when you sense something deeper is happening but you can't quite put your finger on it. That gentle stirring in your spirit when you catch them looking at you with eyes that hold secrets. Today, we're diving into the profound truth that their love for you runs so much deeper than what meets the surface. I've been walking in ministry for over 2 decades, and I've counseled thousands of hearts, and what I'm witnessing in this season is unprecedented. God is revealing the hidden chambers of hearts that have been sealed, locked away, protecting something so precious they've been afraid to let it see daylight. Your person has been carrying a love so intense, so pure, so overwhelming that they've been keeping it close to their chest because they know once it's revealed, everything changes. But here's what the Spirit is showing me. This is the season of unveiling. This is the time when hearts that have been in hiding step into the light. Before we go deeper, if you're ready to receive revelation that will transform how you see love, hit that subscribe button right now. Ring the notification bell, because what we're unpacking today isn't just information, it's transformation. I promise you, by the end of this message, you'll understand exactly why their love has felt different, why their silence has felt so full, and why the surprise they've been keeping is about to show you everything you need to know about their heart. This isn't about games or manipulation. This is about a soul that has been touched by the love of Christ and is learning to love the way heaven loves, deeply, intentionally, and with purpose that goes beyond what this world understands. So grab your journal, open your heart, and let's step into this revelation together. 1. They've been studying your heart like scripture, while you've been wondering if they really see you. They've been watching you with the intensity of a scholar studying ancient texts. Every gesture you make, every word you speak, every moment of joy and every shadow of pain that crosses your face has been carefully observed and treasured in their heart. This isn't the casual attention of someone who's merely interested. This is the devoted focus of someone who recognizes they're in the presence of something sacred. They've been memorizing the way you laugh when something genuinely delights you versus the polite chuckle you give when you're being courteous. They've noticed how your eyes light up when you talk about your dreams and how they soften when you speak about the people you love. They've been cataloging your favorite things, not to impress you, but because they want to understand the language of your soul. When you mentioned that one song that makes you feel understood, they went home and listened to it 17 times, trying to hear what you hear, feel what you feel. When you talked about that book that changed your perspective, they ordered it that same night because they want to walk where your mind has walked. At this level of attention isn't accidental or coincidental. It's the behavior of someone who has recognized that loving you well requires understanding you deeply. They've been praying for wisdom to love you the way Christ loves the church, with knowledge, with purpose, with intentionality that goes beyond surface attraction. In quiet moments, they've been asking God to show them how to be the kind of person who deserves to hold your heart. They've been studying not just who you are now, but they've been watching for glimpses of who you're becoming. They see the woman God is shaping you to be, and they've been preparing their heart to love both versions, who you are today and who you'll be tomorrow. This isn't obsession, it's devotion. This isn't stalking, it's stewardship. They understand that your heart is a gift from heaven, and they've been treating it with the reverence it deserves. They've been learning your language because they want to speak life into your soul in ways you can actually receive. They've noticed that you withdraw when you're overwhelmed. So they've been learning to create space without creating distance. They've seen how you bloom under genuine appreciation. So they've been storing up authentic observations to share at the right moments. The surprise they've been keeping isn't just that they love you, it's that they've been loving you with the kind of intentional, studied, purposeful love that most people never experience in a lifetime. They've been preparing to love you not just with emotion, but with wisdom, with understanding, with the kind of love that actually serves your highest good. Asterisk. 2. They see your future glory before it manifests. What you're mistaking for casual friendship or surface-level interest is actually someone who has been seeing you through prophetic eyes. They've been watching you with a vision of heaven, seeing not just who you are today, but who God is calling you to become, while you've been struggling with your current limitations, battling insecurities, or feeling stuck in certain patterns. They've been seeing your breakthrough. They've been seeing your healed heart, your confident stride, your purpose fulfilled, your gifts operating in their fullness. This is why their love feels so steady, so unshakable, so different from anything you've experienced before. They're not loving you based on your current circumstances. They're loving you based on your kingdom identity. When you see your flaws, they see your potential. When you see your mistakes, they see your lessons learned. When you see your broken places, they see where God's light is going to shine through the cracks. They've been praying for your dreams before you've even shared them. They've been believing for your healing while you've still been nursing your wounds. They've been seeing your victory while you've been fighting your battles. This is the kind of love that calls things that are not as though they were, just like our Father does. They've been speaking life over your future in their private prayer time. They've been declaring breakthrough over areas where you feel stuck. They've been asking God to accelerate your timing and remove every obstacle that's standing between you and your destiny. But here's the beautiful mystery: they've been doing this from a distance because they understand that premature revelation can abort the process. They know that some things have to develop in the secret place before they can survive in the public space. They've been stewarding their vision of your future with the same care a prophet stewards a word from God. This is why their presence feels so peaceful, so safe, so different. You're not dealing with someone who's going to love you and leave when times get hard. You're dealing with someone who has already seen you through the difficult seasons and chosen to stay. They've been preparing their heart to love you through your process, not just your perfection. They understand that love isn't just about enjoying the good times together. It's about being a steady force that helps you become who God created you to be. This is why their love doesn't feel desperate or needy. They're not trying to get something from you. They're preparing to give something to you. They're not waiting for you to be perfect before they commit. They're ready to love you into your perfection. The surprise they've been keeping is that their love for you is rooted in eternal perspective, not temporary feelings. They've been seeing you through the eyes of the one who knit you together in your mother's womb. And that kind of love doesn't fade with circumstances. 3. Their silence has been their sanctuary of preparation. What you've interpreted as disinterest or mixed signals has actually been them creating sacred space to prepare their heart. For the magnitude of loving you well, they haven't been silent because they don't have feelings. Been silent because their feelings run so deep they need time to understand them, steward them, and align them with God's heart. This isn't the silence of someone who's uncertain about you. This is the silence of someone who's certain about you but uncertain about their own readiness to love you the way you deserve. They've been in their prayer closet asking God to mature their love from infatuation into covenant commitment. Been processing their own healing so they don't bring broken pieces into a relationship with someone they consider whole. They've been working through their own insecurities so they can love you from a place of security, not need. This is the silence of preparation, not rejection. While you've been wondering why they haven't made a move, they've been making internal moves that matter more than external gestures. They've been confronting their own patterns that could sabotage something beautiful. They've been addressing their own wounds so they don't wound you. They've been developing their character so they can be worthy of your trust. They understand that loving you isn't just about having feelings for you. It's about being the kind of person who can sustain those feelings through seasons of challenge. They've been building their emotional capacity so they can hold space for your heart without being overwhelmed by the responsibility. They've been strengthening their spiritual foundation so they can be a source of stability in your life, not another area of uncertainty. They've been learning to love themselves properly so they can love you from overflow, not from emptiness. This silence has been productive, purposeful, and protective. They haven't been talking to you about their feelings because they've been talking to God about their feelings. They haven't been making promises to you yet because they've been making promises to themselves about the kind of partner they want to be. In the quiet moments, they've been asking themselves hard questions. Are they loving you for what you can give them or for who God created you to be? Are they ready to prioritize your growth even when it's inconvenient for them? Can they love you through seasons when you're not fun to be around? Are they prepared to protect your heart even from themselves if necessary? This is the kind of internal work that creates relationships that last decades, not just months. Their silence hasn't been empty, it's been full of the kind of preparation that most people skip, which is why most relationships fail. They've been stewarding their love for you like a precious treasure, refusing to cheapen it with premature declarations or hasty actions. The surprise they've been keeping is that their silence has been the loudest expression of their love. They've been loving you enough to get ready for you properly, for they've already made space for you in their future, while you've been wondering if you even register on their radar. They've been quietly rearranging their entire life around the possibility of you. This isn't desperation or obsession. This is what it looks like when someone recognizes that you're not just a potential relationship, but a potential game changer for their destiny. They've been making decisions through the filter of how will this affect us, even though there is no us. Yet in the natural realm, that job opportunity they turned down wasn't just about personal preference. It was about staying in proximity to what God is building between you. That move they decided against wasn't just about financial considerations. It was about not disrupting what feels like divine alignment. They've been decluttering their life, their schedule, their priorities, making room for something they believe is coming. They've been ending relationships that don't align with the kind of person they want to be for you. They've been saying no to opportunities that would take them further from their ability to invest in you properly. They've been reorganizing their time, their energy, their resources around the hope of building something beautiful with you. This isn't fantasy or wishful thinking. This is faith in action. They've been praying for confirmation, for open doors, for divine timing. But they've also been preparing practically for the answer to those prayers. They've been having conversations with God about you that would make your heart skip beats if you could hear them. They've been asking for wisdom about timing, about approach, about how to honor you while honoring the process God has you both in. They've been seeking counsel from people they trust, not gossiping about their feelings, but getting guidance about how to move forward with integrity. They understand that this isn't just about them getting what they want, it's about stewarding what God might be orchestrating for both of your lives. They've been watching for signs that you're ready, that the timing is right, that moving forward would be a blessing and not a burden. But while they've been waiting for external confirmation, they've been making internal commitments. They've already decided that if God opens the door, they're walking through it with everything they have. They've already chosen you in their heart. Even if they haven't said it with their mouth yet, they've been living like someone who's preparing for a covenant, not just a connection. This is why their love feels so solid, so grounded, so different from the casual dating culture you've experienced. You're not dealing with someone who's keeping their options open. You're dealing with someone who has already made their choice and is now working up the courage to reveal it. The space they've made for you in their future isn't hypothetically, it's practical, intentional, and ready to be filled. They've been preparing to love you not just in the honeymoon phase, but in the ordinary Tuesday afternoons, not just when you're at your best, but when you're at your most human. The surprise they've been keeping is that you're not an option. They're considering you're the answer they've been preparing for. 5. Their love language is strategic blessing. What you've been experiencing from them isn't random kindness or casual friendship. It's been a carefully orchestrated campaign of strategic blessing, designed to demonstrate their love through actions rather than words. They've been studying what makes you come alive, what brings you peace, what causes you stress, and they've been strategically positioning themselves to be a source of life and relief in your world. That help they offered when you were overwhelmed wasn't coincidence. They've been paying attention to your stress patterns and positioning themselves to be a solution. That encouragement they spoke over you during your difficult season wasn't just being nice. They've been called by God to be a voice of faith in your life when your own faith feels weak. Those practical ways they've shown up for you weren't random acts of service. They've been practicing what it would look like to be your partner. By being your blessing first, they understand that real love isn't just functional. It doesn't just make you feel good, it makes your life work better. They've been observing where you struggle and strategically developing skills or resources that could serve you. If you mentioned being terrible with technology, they suddenly became very interested in learning more about it. If you talked about wanting to be healthier but struggling with motivation, they started researching nutrition and fitness, not for themselves, but to eventually be able to serve your goals. If you expressed concern about financial planning, they began educating themselves about investment and budgeting, not just for their own benefit, but because they want to be able to guide your financial future together. This is love that thinks ahead, plans ahead, prepares ahead. They've been becoming the kind of person who can add value to your life in practical ways, not just emotional ways. They've been positioning themselves to be a blessing, not a burden. They've been developing their capacity to contribute to your dreams, not just enjoy your company. But here's what makes this so beautiful. They've been doing this without expecting anything in return. They've been blessing you strategically, not to manipulate you into loving them back, but because blessing you has become their love language. Your joy has become their reward. Your peace has become their prize. Your success has become their satisfaction. They've been finding ways to make your life easier, brighter, better, not because they want you to owe them something, but because they want you to experience what it feels like to be loved by someone who pays attention. This is why their presence in your life feels so refreshing, so different from other relationships. You're not just someone they enjoy being around, someone they actively look for ways to serve. They've been treating you like a priority before you became one. Officially, they've been protecting your energy, supporting your vision, celebrating your wins, and comforting your losses, like someone who has a vested interest in your well-being. Because they do. They've already decided that your well-being is connected to their well-being. Your happiness is connected to their happiness. Your success is connected to their success. They've been operating from a we mindset even while you've still been thinking I. The surprise they've been keeping is that every strategic blessing they've released into your life has been a preview of what partnership with them would look like. They haven't been trying to impress you. They've been trying to serve you. And that level of intentional, strategic, selfless love is about to reveal itself in ways that will leave you breathless. 6. They've been protecting your heart from a distance. While you've been wondering why they haven't moved closer, they've been standing guard over your heart from whatever distance feels safe and appropriate. They've been watching who comes into your life, how people treat you, what influences are speaking into your world, and they've been spiritually interceding for your protection. This isn't control or possessiveness. This is the instinct of someone who recognizes that your heart is precious cargo that needs to be handled with care. They've been praying against wrong connections that could derail your destiny. Been asking God to expose anyone who doesn't have pure intentions toward you. They've been standing in the gap for you in prayer when you didn't even know you needed covering, when that person who seemed interested in you suddenly lost interest. They might have been praying for God to remove anyone who wasn't aligned with your highest good, when that situation that looked promising suddenly fell apart. They might have been asking God to close doors that weren't meant for you. They've been more concerned with your protection than their own positioning. They've been more focused on your heart staying whole than their own heart getting what it wants. They understand that premature love can be just as damaging as wrong love. So they've been asking God for wisdom about timing, approach, and readiness. They've been willing to wait, to watch, to pray, to prepare rather than rush into something that could hurt you or derail what God is building in your life. But their protection hasn't just been spiritual, it's been practical. They've been careful about what they speak over you, what energy they bring into your space, what expectations they place on you. They've been protecting your emotional capacity by not burdening you with their feelings before you're ready to receive them. They've been protecting your mental peace by not creating pressure or confusion in your life. They've been protecting your spiritual focus by not becoming a distraction from what God is doing in your season of preparation. This is the behavior of someone who loves you enough to put your well-being before their own desires. They've been treating your heart like it belongs to God first, them second. They've been operating with the understanding that they're not entitled to your love just because they have feelings. They have to be worthy of the gift. They've been working on becoming someone who can be trusted with something as precious as your heart. But here's what's been happening in the spiritual realm. While they've been protecting you in the natural, their prayers over you have been creating an atmosphere of peace around your life. Their intercession has been building spiritual walls of protection around your emotions. Their petitions on your behalf have been moving heaven to work in your favor in ways you can't even see. God has been honoring their heart toward you by blessing you through their prayers, even when you don't know they're praying. The peace you've been feeling recently, the clarity that's been coming, the doors that have been opening, the wrong people who have been removing themselves from your life, some of that has been the result of someone loving you enough to cover you in prayer. The surprise they've been keeping is that they've been functioning as your secret spiritual bodyguard, protecting your heart so that when the time is right, you'll be whole enough to receive the love they've been preparing. 7. They see marriage where others see dating. While the world around you has been playing dating games, sending mixed signals, and keeping their options open, they've been looking at you through the lens of forever. This isn't them rushing ahead or being presumptuous. This is them recognizing something in you that aligns with covenant, not just connection. They haven't been wondering if you're good enough for a few months of fun. They've been evaluating whether you're the one they want to build a legacy with. This is why their approach feels so different, so intentional, so serious. You're not dealing with someone who's dating you. You're dealing with someone who's courting you. They've been asking themselves the hard questions that people who date casually never ask. Can they imagine growing old with you? Can they see you as the mother of their children? Can they picture you as their partner in ministry, in business, in the deep work of building something that matters? Can they envision you standing next to them in their worst moments and their greatest victories? They've been evaluating not just chemistry, but compatibility. Not just attraction, but alignment. Not just feelings, but future. They've been praying about you the way people pray about marriage, not the way they pray about dating. They've been asking God if you're the one He's prepared for them, not just if you're someone they can have a good time with. This is why their love feels so stable, so secure, so unshakable. It's not based on temporary emotions or convenient timing. It's based on the kind of deep recognition that says, this is my person. They've been seeing past your current season into your full potential as a wife, a partner, a companion for the journey ahead. They've been imagining what it would look like to serve God together, to build a family together, to face whatever life brings together. But they've also been preparing themselves to be worthy of that kind of partnership. They've been working on becoming the kind of man who deserves to be married to the kind of woman they see in you. They've been developing their character, their spiritual maturity, their emotional intelligence, their practical skills, because they understand that marriage requires more than just good intentions. They've been asking God to prepare them financially, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to provide for and protect a family. They've been addressing their own wounds and weaknesses so they don't bring broken pieces into a sacred covenant. They've been learning what it means to love like Christ loves the church, sacrificially, purposefully, with their whole being. This is why their timeline might feel slower than what you're used to. They're not trying to get to the altar quickly, they're trying to get to the altar ready. They understand that the foundation determines how long the house stands, so they've been more focused on building something solid than building something fast. They've been preparing for a lifetime commitment, not a temporary arrangement. The surprise they've been keeping is that when they finally make their move, it won't be to ask you to be their girlfriend, it will be to position themselves as your future husband. They haven't been wondering if they like you enough to date you. They've been preparing to love you enough to marry you. 8. Their breakthrough moment is divinely timed. Everything they've been holding back, every feeling they've been processing, every prayer they've been praying is about to culminate in a moment of divine revelation that will change everything between you. God has been orchestrating this entire season, the waiting, the wondering, the preparation, the protection, all leading to a moment when His timing and their readiness align perfectly. This isn't about them finally getting their courage up. This is about heaven releasing the green light for something that's been predestined before either of you knew each other existed. The delay hasn't been denial, it's been development. Every day they've waited has been a day of preparation for both of your hearts. Every prayer they've prayed has been building toward this moment of breakthrough. Every tear you've cried, wondering if real love exists, has been watering the ground for this harvest. God has been working behind the scenes, moving pieces into place, aligning circumstances, preparing hearts, removing obstacles, and orchestrating divine encounters. The timing of their revelation is going to be so perfect, so clearly God orchestrated, that you'll both know this isn't just human affection, this is divine appointment. When they finally speak, it's going to be with the authority of someone who has heard from heaven about your connection. When they finally move, it's going to be with the confidence of someone who knows they're walking in God's will, not just their own desires. When they finally reveal what they've been keeping in their heart, it's going to come with such clarity, such certainty, such divine confirmation that you'll feel the peace of God's approval over the entire situation. This is why the timing has felt off to you, because it wasn't your timing or their timing, it was God's timing. And God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't feel convenient. He's been preparing you to receive what they've been preparing to give. He's been healing your heart so it's ready to trust again. He's been building your confidence so you're ready to be loved well. He's been developing your discernment so you'll recognize the real thing when it shows up. He's been teaching you your worth so you won't settle for anything less than what He has for you. The breakthrough moment that's coming isn't going to be just about them finally speaking up. It's going to be about God confirming everything He's been whispering to your heart about this connection. All those moments when you wondered if you were imagining things are going to make sense. All those times you felt like there was something deeper happening are going to be validated. All those prayers you prayed asking God to show you His will about love are going to be answered in the most beautiful way. When their love is finally revealed, it's going to come with supernatural peace, divine confirmation, and the unmistakable fingerprints of God all over it. You're going to know in your spirit that this isn't just two people deciding to try. Dating this is two hearts that were designed by heaven to walk together. The surprise they've been keeping is about to be revealed not just as human love, but as divine love expressed through human vessels. And when that moment comes, you're going to understand why the wait was necessary, why the preparation was required, and why God's timing truly is perfect. Beautiful soul, what I've shared with you today isn't just theory or wishful thinking. This is the reality of how deep, kingdom-minded love operates when it's submitted to God's timing and wisdom. The person whose love runs deeper than you imagine is real, and they're closer than you think. Every point we've covered today is happening in someone's heart right now. The seeing, the preparing, the protecting, the strategic blessing, the covenant thinking, and the divine timing that's about to unfold. If this message has stirred something in your spirit, if you've felt that witness in your heart that says this is for me, then receive it as a prophetic word over your love life. God is moving in the realm of relationships in this season, and you are not excluded from His goodness. The love you've been praying for, waiting for, believing for, is closer than it appears. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell, because we're going to continue diving deep into the heart of God for relationships, purpose, and spiritual growth. Your love story is being written by the author of love himself, and the best chapters are yet to come. Leave a comment below and let me know which point resonated most with your heart. And don't forget to share this message with someone who needs to hear that their love story isn't over, it's just beginning. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.